Ralph Waldo Emerson. Summary of the Oversoul, Self Reliance, The Conduct of Life, and Brahma the Poem. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. Hello and welcome to the discourse. We are discussing the works of Ralph Waldo Emerson. We have already discussed the detailed summary of his two major essays, Nature and the American Scholar. Basically, he put forth all his major ideas and philosophy in these two essays. In his later works, he continued to explain and elucidate the philosophical ideas that he presented in his earlier essays. In 1941, Emerson published The Oversoul. This essay confirms the influence of Advaita Vedanta, an Indian philosophical stream, on Emerson. Furthermore, he was also influenced by Plato, Plutarch, and Neoplatonic philosophers including Plotinus and Proclus. In his speech for Phi Beta Kappa Society, the American Scholar, he mentioned Emanuel Swedenborg as the most imaginative writer that he ever read. The Oversoul is also inspired by the ideas of Swedenborg. The basic idea of the Oversoul is that the God manifests himself in each human being, and we all are part of the greater being, the Oversoul. We are souls, Atma, and the God is the Oversoul, Paramatma. In this essay, Emerson talks about three basic relations: my relation with my own self, with my Atma, my relation with other human beings, and my relationship with the Oversoul, God or Paramatma. He further stresses the importance of having harmonious relationship with nature. He mentions that instead of going to temples and churches, it would be better if we understand that we are a home of the Oversoul ourselves. If we cheer and help and care for other human beings in need, we are actually serving the Oversoul Paramatma. Emerson points out that first, the human soul is immortal. Second, our soul is different from our conscious ego or false ego, and we have to strive to understand our true self, our soul. Third, all living beings, all souls, are interconnected, as they are the manifestations of the Oversoul, Paramatma. And hence, there must be a harmonious relationship between all the souls. Fourth, the Oversoul, Paramatma, is the origin of all the souls. In the epigraph of this essay, Emerson used a quote by Henry Moore, the British philosopher. Self-reliance. Ralph Waldo Emerson published his another important essay, Self-Reliance, in 1841, and it was added in his series Essays Series 1. He revised this essay and republished it in 1847. Along with Nature and the American Scholar, this essay of Emerson is very important because it influenced the masses and enhanced the individualist movement in the USA. The main theme of self-reliance is trust thyself. Emerson begins his essay with an epigraph in Latin, which means do not seek outside yourself. Basically, Emerson suggests individuals to search within themselves and find all the solutions and happiness within thyself. The three main topics that Emerson touches through this essay are: first, importance of self-reliance; second, self-reliance and the individual; and third, self-reliance and the society. Emerson stresses that self-reliance is an ideal, a virtue, and conformity or dependence on others is a vice. Emerson begins with explaining the importance of thinking for oneself rather than meekly accepting what others think. He says that one should not rely on others or even on books and scriptures, but they should try to trust their own intuitions. He says to believe that what is true in your private heart is true for all men. That is genius. This is a projection of his previous essay, The Oversoul, in which he explained that all individual beings has souls that are immortal manifestations of the Oversoul and are interconnected. One who seeks for the solutions for his problems, who analyzes and meditates to find his own path, should believe that his chosen solution or path must be true to all other men. And there is no need to be suspicious about your own intuitions. Rather, one must have the trust in themselves. Emerson suggests that non-conformity is praiseworthy. One must not seek other people's acceptance for their own feelings, thinkings, and actions. Rather, they should act as per their own intuitions. He says that children and even animals act spontaneously on their intuitions. However, as we grow old and become adults, we lose inner faith and have difficulties in acting spontaneously. We often overthink before acting and try to seek acceptance of others for their approval, which is dependence and is not good. Emerson says that the society tries to break the self trust, self reliance of the individual, but an individual must not succumb to the societal pressure and conform with it. Rather, they should stand up for their inner intuitions and be non-conformists. He states, "Whoso would be a man must be a non-conformist." Intuitions can be evil, but Emerson says that it is better to be true to your own nature than to behave correctly because of societal conventions or societal demands. Emerson then raises the issue of having a consistency in your behavior and trust towards your intuitions. He suggests that the obsession to maintain consistency with your past actions and beliefs is not a good thing. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, Emerson says. Hobgoblin means fear of unknown. Emerson mentions that throughout the history, the greatest minds were always scorned and ridiculed by their peers for being nonconformists and original in their thinking. He says that a man learns and gains new insights and can change their decisions as per his new intuitions and insights. He gives the example of a ship moving against the direction of the wind. In order to reach an identifiable destination, the ship needs to change its direction from time to time and have to move in zigzag path without maintaining any consistency. He further says that the society is not the measure of progress, rather a true individual is the actual measure of progress. As the true individual is not for a particular time or place, he is for all times and all places. What he means is that the technological advancements doesn't suggest that we have progressed or developed as humans. Rather, the true progress is in the progress of humans as self-reliant people. He says that while the society continues to pressurize individuals through conformity, consistency and commonality, the individual can maintain their ability to be original and artistic by maintaining spontaneity and believing his instincts. He says that the God, the oversoul, transcends into each individual, but only a few who are self-reliant and non-conformist can realize that oversoul transcended in them. He says that while any individual can be self-reliant, but often we, the people, tend to be lazy and conformists and make a mob of dependents, non-self-reliant individuals, who then try to pressurize and defeat the self-reliant man with the notions and stipulations of conformity and consistency. Emerson says that only the self-reliant person can benefit the society, while the mob of dependent conformist people harms it. He mentions that the youth of cities who remain afraid of failures while reading their books are no match to a farm lad who learns many skills through himself and becomes self-taught entrepreneur. Emerson then suggests that religion needs self-reliant people because the main fear of religionists is the creativity of individuals, and hence all religions force conformity and mimicry of scriptures and past laws. However, a non-conformist individual questions and finds out the answers by his self-observations. He mentions that conformist people often have an urge to travel to find someone who may have more knowledge than their own, who may offer them the solutions to their problems. However, Emerson says that all the solutions comes from within. People close their own inner temples and try to seek God in new lands. Emerson says that the notion that a man who has traveled a lot and have seen many countries is much civilized and knows more than a village man who never visited a new land is false. He then criticizes the education system that more than stressing students to create their own arts, schools and institutions force them to travel to visit European countries to see and learn their arts. He suggests American students to stop conforming with the European culture and literature and to try creating their own arts. Self-Reliance was a very impressive essay by Emerson that influenced many other writers. Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick in opposition to Emerson's idea of self-reliance. In Moby Dick, Captain Ahab is a self-reliant non-conformist man who bravely follows his intuitions but meets his tragic end. We have already discussed the summary of Moby Dick. Melville and other dark romanticists stress that while following intuitions is good, but intuitions can be evil, and it is not good to follow evil intuitions. Brahma. Emerson was majorly an essayist, but he was a gifted poet too, and in his poems he continued to express his transcendentalist ideas regarding individualism, self-reliance, oversoul, and non-conformism. His most talked about poem is Brahma, which he wrote in 1856. The title suggests the influence of Hindu philosophy on Emerson. Brahma is the Hindu god of creation. He is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Emerson suggests that different religions can have different deities, but the core of all religion is Brahma, the superpower, the oversoul, or Paramatma, the power that enlightens all living and non-living things, the power that resides in the light and the dark alike. Brahma has many parts which manifests as Atma or soul in living beings. Each human being is trapped in transient phase, Maya, but his ultimate aim is to achieve salvation, moksha or nirvana, because salvation will let him have that connection with the Brahma again, and he will be one with the Brahma. Emerson begins the poem by explaining that life and death both are parts of Maya, which is a trap, and souls continue to maintain the cycle of life and death and the intermediary pleasures and pain until they attain salvation or freedom. Anyone who understands Maya will also understand the importance of salvation or mukti, which is the link of an individual soul with the oversoul or Brahma. The poem suggests strong influences of Advaita Vedanta and Kathopanishad on Emerson. All the major transcendentalists, including Emerson, Thoreau, Margaret Fuller Alcott, and Elizabeth Peabody, were influenced by Hindu philosophies. Brahma is the representation of universal spirit by that name. The Conduct of Life. The Conduct of Life was the essay collection of Emerson that was published in the year 1860 and was again revised in 1876. The major theme of this work is to offer an answer to the question, how should I live? It can be said as a suggestive code for an ideal man to live. The book contains 9 essays titled Fate, Power, Wealth, Culture, Behavior, Worship, Consideration by the Way, Beauty, and Illusions. These are the topics of the 9 essays that he included in his work, The Conduct of Life. In the first essay, Fate, Emerson offers a reconciliation idea between the issues of free will and fate and suggests that both these ideas, these concepts are similar, they are same. In Power, Emerson says that life is a search after power and each individual strives to achieve as much power as he can. In his next essay, Wealth, Emerson describes 2 sides of wealth. One is the economic individual wealth and the other is the social wealth of cultured, ideal good citizens. In Culture, he examines the progress of society as a whole on the basis of individual behavior and culture. We have discussed all the major works of Ralph Waldo Emerson. His first essay, Nature, was published in 1836. The American Scholar was published in 1837. The Oversoul in 1841, and Self-Reliance was also published in 1841. His poem Brahma was published in 1856, and his collection of essays, The Life, which had 9 essays, was published in 1861. This is all about Ralph Waldo Emerson. We will continue to discuss works of American writers and early American literature in our upcoming videos. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.